Good morning, children. This is Neetu, ma'am. So, we studied about the photosynthesis yesterday. Let's move on to differentiate the different plants. So, how are you going to differentiate different plants? Either by their flowers or by their leaves. If the plants do not have flowers, then how will you differentiate? You will differentiate by the leaves. So different plants have different shapes and sizes of the leaves. Okay. Plants have leaves of different shapes and sizes. For example, peepal and neem are both common trees in India, but both of them have very different leaves. On the other hand, you can see here, children, the leaf of the neem. You can see this is neem tree, and when you see the peepal tree, the leaves of the peepal tree is somewhat like this, isn't it? So this is the leaf of the peepal tree, this is the leaf of the neem tree. On the other hand, when you talk about the cactus, the leaves are actually spiny thorns. No, here it is not visible in this cactus, but when you go closer to this plant, you will see that there are thorns like this everywhere. Very spiny thorns all over the leaves are present. Okay. Now, why the spiny thorns? I told you, because in desert area there is no water, or there is very less water available. Therefore, plants do not have leaves, they turn into the spines, so that water which is absorbed by the leaves, the water is given out in the form of vapors by the leaves during the process of transpiration, which you don't understand now, you will understand later. So this is a tendency of the leaf to throw away the water in the form of vapors out of the plant, okay, to maintain the temperature of the plant. But if the leaves will keep throwing away the water, the whole water will get over, no? Hence plants they just switched the leaves in from the broader leaves to the thinner spines. Okay. Now moving ahead, on the other hand, we said, look, its leaves are actually spiny thorns. The cactus grows in a very hot desert, and its stem is fleshy and green. Some cacti. So what is this cacti? The plural form of cactus. One cactus, and when there are two cactus plant, then we say cacti. Okay, have a few thick leaves also. So, apart from other parts of the plant, even the leaves of some plants are very helpful to us. So, we all know the leaves of the plants, they are medicinal plant. Everybody knows about the neem leaves, they have medicinal properties. We also eat spinach leaves because they are very nutritious and makes us strong. Now, can you name one more plant whose leaves have medicinal value? So children, after this video, I expect you to give me names of the leaves of at least one each of you which have medicinal value. Okay. Now there is one hint given here. The juice of the leaves are used to treat the cough. Okay. So think over it. That answer you can write over here only. Name of the plant can be written here only. Moving ahead, Diya led Aditya to some plant and plucked a few leaves. Crushing each leaf, she held it near his nose and said, "Here, smell these." One by one, Aditya smelled basil. Basil is tulsi, mint, and coriander leaves. Okay, so this is tulsi, called basil, then mint, and then coriander leaves. And he was surprised to notice that they all smelled different. Now, looking around, Aditya started noticing more things about leaves. To his surprise, he saw that not all leaves were green. The leaves of different plants have different colors also, isn't it? So you must have seen different leaves of different colors. Sometimes leaves change color according to the season. In spring, you see many fresh leaves budding on plants. And what is the color of the fresh leaves? They are usually light green color. Okay, they are light green in color. Soon they grow darker and larger. In autumn, the leaves of many trees, such as maple and oak, which you don't find here, okay, they start changing the color. Many of the leaves you will see, they turn the color from the green. First, they are light green in color. Then they grow older, they become dark green in color, and then finally they become yellow and brown, and then they fall off. Okay, so finally, leaves turn brownish yellow and fall off. In winter, many trees are bare and hardly they have any leaves. So you see in winter, the plants do not have any leaves. Now one question arises, leaves are the one who prepare the food. So what happens to the plants when there are no leaves? So what happened? How do they get their food? So then they use the stored food. Okay. Now during this time, plants survives on the food that it had prepared and stored in the stem earlier. In winter, especially in very cold climates, there is a very little sunlight. Thus the plant is not able to produce any food. Okay, children, that is why it depends on the stored food. So this is the tendency of the plant to keep preparing the food and keep storing the food for the season when there is no sunlight. So plants, when there is no sunlight, they keep preparing the food. They use the food which is already stored in their stem. So have you ever wondered what happened to the leaves that fall off from the trees? What happened to the leaves that fall off from the trees? The leaves that fall off are called dead leaves. Okay, so these decay over time. So what do you mean by decaying? Decay means they decompose. Okay, they decay and decompose, and people collect these leaves and they mix these dead leaves into the soil and they make compost. Now please underline this word compost. Okay, compost is a kind of natural fertilizer. So whenever the leaves they fall off, okay, they are called dead leaves, and when you mix these dead leaves with the soil, they become compost, and which makes the soil fertile. Okay, so compost makes the soil fertile and is used for growing the plants. In this way, even dead leaves are useful for plants, isn't it? So when the leaves were in the plant, they are used for making the food. When the leaves are dead, they are used for making the fertilizer. So leaves are always important, whether it is alive or it is dead. Now, Aditya picked up a peepal leaf and said, "Look there, it has such a beautiful shape. I never noticed before. But I think our table cover has these leaves all over it." Dia said, "You are right, Aditya. Leaf symbols are used on many different objects. So beautiful leaf designs are also used in the cushion covers and even in the mehendi design that we get made on our hand. So look at this. These are the mehendi design and you can see the leaves are made here. You can see the leaves. Yeah. So I always use a lot of leaves in my hand when I use the mehendi on my palm. Okay, so what are the values and life skill? Plants are very important in our life. They provide many important things to us. Life would be difficult in the absence of plants. So children, list 2 to 3 ways in which you can protect the plants around you. As we all know that plants are very important for us and we should always protect them. So first we are going to list the medicinal plants. You will have to tell me at least one each of you, the medicinal plants whose leaves are used as a medicine. Okay, and then we'll discuss 3 methods to protect the plants. So how can you protect the plants around you? Okay, so here we are done with the chapter. So after this chapter we will just recapitulate. Okay.